Hello, my name is Dan,
My name is Lucy.
and this is Reality Check, the podcast for all things reality. This spring, we're currently covering Survivor 44. The second episode just came out this past Wednesday, and we finished watching about 5 minutes ago. And I will say, it was another good episode. So, Lucy, do you want to take us through how it started?
Yeah. I mean, it started with is it the Orange Tribe?
Orange Tribe. Yep.
Yeah, coming back from Tribal, and they were all kind of, they were a little bit like upset, I guess, because there was a bit of stuff going on there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Brandon was kind of mad at Kane. So Kane, who we were saying last episode, that he was really like no one minded him. He was good.
Mm-hmm.
He was the only one that hadn't upset anyone. Now Kane is in Brandon's bad books
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
because
so
Kane was the only remaining voter of Brandon
yep.
left in the game.
Yeah, Kane went
Um,
into that tribal in the best position, and he might have honestly left it in one of the worst. I don't know that for sure,
yep.
but yeah.
No, I would agree. I would agree. In that moment, anyway.
Hmm. At
Perhaps
least in Brandon's
give them a
book.
day or two, they'll calm down.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty much what we got to say. Brandon was trying to act like he didn't mind, but then in his confessional, he was like, "No, I mind." So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So that they show us Ratu getting back from tribal council. Like very interesting tribal from. We talked about it last time. Maddie was gone, sadly. Um,
Maddie.
but then they take us to Soka tribe, where Matt's talking about his breakup, and then
Wait,
Matt.
oh my gosh, wait. Sorry to
Yeah, go for it.
interrupt.
What's up?
Isn't this the M curse continuing with Maddie?
M curse?
You know when the first person to get voted out is like a person whose name starts with M every season?
Uh,
Marianne was talking about it.
season 41 was. Did it start in season 42, or when?
I don't
When did
know.
this start?
It started in like 39, I think, according to Marianne.
Definitely not 39.
Okay.
Let me look it up. So starting with, and also not 40. Yeah, not 39.
Where am I getting this from?
The first girl voted out in 39 was M.
Oh, maybe it's just the first girl voted out has
I
their
don't
name
think
start with
so.
M then.
No, not in
Oh,
season 40. Season 41. No.
she talked about this. Marianne talked about it. I'm sure she did.
Season 42 had Mariah in the second
Yeah,
vote, but
Mariah.
she wasn't the first one out. Season 43 had
Okay.
Mariah, who was the first one voted out.
I found a Reddit thread about it.
Okay.
So apparently,
this might have spoilers,
so I'll
just so you know.
yeah, I'm just gonna read this out.
Speaking of spoilers, if you haven't watched the episode yet, this episode is gonna have spoilers for the second episode of Survivor 44. So, yeah. All right.
But if you're listening to this and you didn't want spoilers, then you are, no offense, probably quite silly. Anyway, so Reddit user Double Walker says, "Will Maddie suffer Marianne's curse?" As anyone who listened to Marianne's 15-hour RHAP deep dive knows, Marianne has a theory that female contestants whose names begin with M are very often cursed with an early elimination. Marianne herself was exempt from this as it was Mariah.
Mariah was, yep.
Yeah. Who got sent home from her
Maria. I don't know how it's Emma.
But then there was other Mariah, wasn't there? There was like
Mariah was 43, and then I'm not sure what her name was and how I pronounce it. It's 42, but it was like it was spelled like Mariah, but just like not Mariah, Mariah.
Yeah.
Anyways, keep going.
That's all the thread says.
Oh,
but I'm just proving that this is a real thing that I did not just invent in my head.
No, yeah, I believe you.
And the first comment by Reddit user Solo Jura says, it's the Michelle curse. I don't know. Michelle. I think it's since someone called Michelle potentially won.
Oh. Maybe. Let
Yeah.
me just go back through. Looking at season 38, I don't think there were any M girls. And I think that is the same situation with season 40, by the way. 37, um, no M girls. 36, this might be a whole other episode. Yep, happened in 36. A girl named Morgan was third out. Here's season 35. There weren't any. Season 34. Is it M name or M girl?
M
M
girl.
girl, yeah. Nothing in season 34. Season 33, second person voted out was named Mari. And then season 32, no. And then if we're thinking of Michelle winning, then it would. I mean, there was a Monica voted out in season 32. Just season 31, pretty early, but interesting. Yeah, didn't know about that. But yeah, Maddie was voted up previous episode. As for and Maddie is the only M name it looks like, so interesting.
Yeah.
It is a cool little bonus discussion. But yeah, so
Yeah.
we're heading over to Green Tribe, and Green Matt is he's talking about he just got out of this relationship with someone he really really liked. So it was rough, and it was like pretty close to filming on Survivor. But then he found Franny. We'll see if you want to add on to that at all. What were
Yeah,
they
so
doing?
Franny, they were really connecting.
Mm-hmm.
They they had a little something going on. I think they got the episode title like Two
Yep,
Dorky
two
Magnets.
dorky magnets or something.
Yeah. So yeah, they're getting pretty close, to the point where they're having to say to each other like we need to stop talking to each other.
Mm-hmm.
Just for the day or something, and then it's not really working. They just gravitate towards each other, and everyone else on their tribe is also noticing this.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah. Let me check some. But yeah, so they're getting really close and their tribe is noticing, and they could easily be targeted for that.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's all. That's pretty much all there is to say there. I'm personally wondering if it has anything to do with Matt having just gotten out of his relationship, like if he's just kind of vulnerable
Like a
and he found
rebound.
someone that, yeah, kind of a rebound. I'm sure Franny's a very nice person, and I'm sure they could like work together. But just like the timing isn't great,
Yeah.
and but it would be cool if it did work out. It's been a while since there's
Yeah.
been a cool showman since Survivor. Um,
I mean, they do seem like a good pair.
yeah, they're both
We do
they're
love a
two
good
dorky
dorky couple.
magnets. Yeah.
Us.
Yeah. That's pretty much it for. Well, I mean, yeah, that's kind of it for Green Tribe. We'll be talking about Green Tribe again soon. Let's talk about Tika, and
Which color is that?
that's
Purple?
purple. Yep,
Okay, I'm getting there.
yep. Tell us what happened at Purple
Yeah. So
Tribe.
they start thinking about that key thing again.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, maybe we should go look for it. So they kind of split off into mini groups. They all go and have like a free for all trying to find it. Carolyn goes up a tree and finds a snake. But she then starts telling this story about poop and teeth, and then somehow that leads to her finding the key. Obviously she's very, very excited about.
Yeah, and yeah,
Yeah, and then she's really keen to open it, so she finds a moment to break away from the rest of her tribe, and she goes to open up the key, like the lock, and takes the package out from the cage. She does this. She was really like doubting whether she wanted to or not, and then she was eventually like, right, I'm doing it. She gets it out. She runs off. She stuffs it down her pants or whatever they do. Runs off, opens it, and then she's like, oh shoot, I was the only person away from the group. So then she runs back and puts it back in, but she didn't do a great job of putting it back in. So when the other four get back to it, they can tell it's been opened.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, there's all four of them basically come up on the cage together. It's Carson, Hela, Sarah, and Yam Yam. And we're like, okay, well, obviously it would have to be Carolyn, right? But no, they're getting suspicious of each other. Everyone except Carolyn. And what we see through this episode is Carolyn's smarter than at least I thought she was, and she's definitely smarter than she lets on. But yeah, they're suspicious of each other. Carson's a bit suspicious of Helen.
Carson starts going into body language.
Yep.
So yeah, it's almost like a circle. Like they're all suspicious of each other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, and so that's pretty much how it went down at Purple Tribe. How was the idol hunt at Soka Tribe, Green?
So Danny just wanders off on his own and finds it.
Yeah.
That's really all there is to it.
And that, as casual as Lucy just said it, that's how it went down, according to the episode. They're like all of them are talking about camp and how we're the cool lazy people and we gotta let Danny tire himself out. Meanwhile, Danny just finds the key, and yeah.
Now Danny, similarly to what we saw with Carolyn, he goes to the thing and he opens it up while he's there, and then he finds that one of them is fake. So he puts the fake back in the bag, and like he's pretty chill because they're all being lazy back at camp. So he just puts everything nicely back together, exactly how it was. And then when they go to check on the cage, it's exactly how they left it.
Yep.
Danny has got away with it. I'm really interested to see how Danny can, like, what he can do with this now, because he's got the potential to re-hide the key and have someone have a fake idol.
Yeah, it could be interesting. Although it's a few, because obviously I think he kept the idol note for himself, and even if he didn't, the idol note specifies that there's a medallion that's not powerful whatsoever.
Yeah.
So like, it's kind of hard to fake it, but like it fakes it there, and if the key's still out there, they can still look for it. But honestly, I think it would be better not to re-hide the key, or hide the key, like don't keep it in your bag or anything, but like maybe bury it or something to the point where there's no way they'll find it, because then the cage is just there, never to be opened again. So yeah, Danny got away with it. Carolyn got away with it, but the Purple Tribe knows that somebody has what was in the bag. Yeah.
What if Danny opened the key? Played it, like, he told everyone that he found the key. Opens it very dramatically and takes this fake idol.
He has
and then plays it.
Oh my gosh, wait, yeah.
And then plays it, and it's like, it's a fake, and then he's like, oh, someone else must have the real one.
Instead of, but you were nearly on the same page here. Danny, and they all, like, Green Tribe goes out to search for the key again. Danny finds that he has the note, and he has the fake medallion in there. So he can, like, pull, let's say he sets it up to where he can just pull the note out of the bag. He finds the key because he hid it. And he just says that the note says, oh, this is an idol. And it's just a thing in there. So publicly, he has one idol that he can pretend to have and he can threaten to use. And meanwhile, he has the real idol as well. So that could be really interesting. So pretty much what you said, except rather than being like, oh my gosh, it's a fake, it can be like,
no, but he'd play that at Tribal.
Well.
And then be told it's a fake.
Yeah.
And then he can have his shocked moment.
Yeah, possibly, but he's the only one who knows about the fake one. Yeah, I don't know. Anything can happen.
We're overthinking this. Shall we jump to the challenge?
Yeah, let's go ahead and talk about the challenge. So it's this really, like, actually, you can explain what the challenge is, Lucy.
There's this funky little thing that they have to go under or over or something, as they do. And then they have to, like, push this ladder up and throw the rope down and cross this bridge. Now this bridge thing, I'm kind of worried.
Okay, let me tell you about this bridge thing. So yeah, Lucy, you got it mostly right. They have to find a sandbag, and they have to push this ladder up, and so they send someone up, and then that person has to give them a rope, which the other 4 members use to pull up a bridge. And the thing is, that bridge isn't on anything stable until the first person crosses it. Now, yes, you have 4 people holding it up, But in the few clips of that they showed of looking down under the bridge, I don't think there was like a
There was
net
no
there.
net.
I imagine there
Yeah.
must have been something there. There must have been something that we just didn't see to keep them safe. But like, because if that bridge just drops, it drops. Like it doesn't have a catch. I'm pretty sure.
Maybe
Like
it does, and we just don't
maybe
know.
it doesn't. We didn't see it. Like because what they showed us was them dramatically like using the lever to release the catch so the bridge would be stable. But maybe at some point there is a catch in case if there is a person on it. It's Survivor. They make sure their challenges are safe to that extent. So I imagine they have some sort of backup. But it looked scary. And there was one point where it looked like it was just a wooden beam sitting under the bridge. To the point where, I don't know. Maybe that was something that would catch it. Like the bridge would fall, but just not all the way. I don't know. But yeah, it looked a bit interesting. Yeah, okay. If you want to explain the rest of the challenge from here, Lucy.
And then they had this like silly little snake thing. That they had to like lift up and down. It was
it's like
we've seen similar in
we've seen a lot of similar
the
things.
challenge? No, not the challenge.
No, it's Survivor. It's Survivor. Okay, so it's this.
No, what was it? It was
Survivor. It's on Survivor.
The Amazing Race. Didn't they have that like?
Oh, they did. But it's from
Yeah.
Survivor. It's mainly Survivor. That was like
Yeah.
the first time we've ever seen.
But that was just what it
Race.
reminded. Yeah, I hadn't seen it before.
Anyways,
So.
Lucy, you basically explained it. It's the snake thing. It's on like a vertical wall, and one tribe
There's a
member
ball.
pulls up like a round platform holding the ball, and they have to maneuver it up the snake to the top.
Yes.
Which we've seen. It's been a challenge
Yeah.
of several seasons of Survivor.
Yeah. So we have stepping forward for each tribe. We have Matthew, Sarah,
Orange Matthew.
and Orange Matthew, Sarah, and the guy in the middle, whose name I'm Josh.
The guy in the middle. Josh. Yes, Josh.
Yeah, the guy in the green guy.
Green
you
guy.
know.
Josh.
Josh. Yeah. So, yeah, so I literally said like out loud, why is Matthew doing this? Because he hurt his shoulder. He does not need to be using it on shoulder demanding challenges, if that makes sense. So I'm like, why is he doing this? And then he actually is doing a really good job and wins it for his tribe overall. More on that later. And then meanwhile we have purple and green. They're kind of like, they're going at it. They've both dropped a few times. Eventually, though, Josh does pull it off, sending the purple tribe to tribal. Now, Jeff asks Matthew why he stepped up to do that. And Matthew's like, well, you see, I built one. I built this challenge. Which makes sense as to why he was so good at it.
And he was really emotional about it too. He was like, "Oh, I asked my tribe to trust me.
Yeah.
Like we could tell it meant so much to him."
Yeah. Yeah. So that was a nice moment for him. And then I guess we headed off to the purple camp.
Yeah.
Is it Tika?
Tika. Yep.
I'm getting there. So we head off to Tika camp where they're all they're actually quite chill. I was gonna say they're all scrambling, but they're not.
It wasn't
really
that much. We didn't see that much of a scramble.
They sat round the fire a bit and they were like, Carolyn? Yeah. But then Yam Yam's like, nah, runs to find Carolyn.
He's like, Carolyn. Yam Yam's great.
Carolyn! I love those two, honestly, and Carson. Like, I'm so here for this alliance of 3. But yeah, so he goes off to find Carolyn, and then they discuss, and they're like, right, we need Carson on side. So that's where Carson comes into this. And they talk to him, and Carolyn is very obviously like very grateful. Like she's on the floor and everything. I love her. And
then we find out Carson is playing both sides. Carson is in an alliance of 3 with Helen and Sarah, and an alliance of 3 with Carolyn and Yam Yam. And I didn't even realize that in the first episode. I don't know if you did. I don't know if it was shown, but
no, I don't know if it was shown.
So he's like playing middle.
I just want to add.
Oh yeah, go for it.
I want to add something actually about Carson. So Carson, when they get back to camp, Carson's all he built the challenge. How is that fair?
Yeah.
And then cut to Carson, like, confessional, and he's like, yeah, so I built a load of the challenges, and we see him, like, 3D printing the puzzles and stuff.
Yeah.
And honestly, that was so funny. I love his preparation. He's such a smart player.
Yeah. Yeah, the same way, which I don't know how significant this is, but he doesn't want people to know he's working on being an astrophysicist. Is that it? Or
Smart guy.
so he didn't want people to know how smart, and he does look like a nerd, obviously. Like he's relatively, but he didn't want
We saw him get typecast in episode 1 as the nerd on the puzzle.
He didn't want people to know he looked that smart, and that's more important to this episode than I think I realized when I saw it. But yeah, so the thing is, he's like, back to Carson. He's like, oh, I love playing both sides. It's so nice being in the middle. And then Carolyn's just like kind of in paranoia, but also she's right in every aspect. She's like, Carson likes everyone. He has no reason not to vote me out. I'm the easiest vote here. And she's like deciding whether to play her idol or anything. And meanwhile, she just has the game down. She just knows where everyone's at to a T. Like, it was insane. But yeah, that's what I wanted to add. I can already say I underestimated Carolyn more than, like, I did not expect her to play this well already.
Yeah.
But she knows more than I'm not rooting for her. She's an interesting character, but she could pull off a Gabler. It could happen. Yeah. Otherwise, yeah, we'll see if you want to keep going with explaining the tribal and stuff. Or not.
I guess I don't think that. Yeah, I think they just go to tribal after that. I don't think there's too much.
There's not too much. Yeah. They're at tribal. They go through the usual questions. Is there anything you want to mention about tribal specifically, Lucy?
I don't think so, to be honest. I think it's quite uneventful in terms of like question answering. Carolyn gets a little emotional and she's like really appreciative of everything. I do wonder if there's like a bit more that we don't know about Carolyn yet.
Yeah.
I don't know, but
I don't know.
I mean, there's more to everyone. But to have someone like, as they said, getting emotional because the fruit is ripe. Yeah. There's probably some backstory. So I would love to hear that if she chooses to open up. And then, yeah, so they go to vote, I guess. And we were wondering, can Sarah play her shot in the dark at this stage? Because she couldn't vote.
Yeah. So, yeah, we don't know if she could have. She didn't need to. She wasn't on the radar. We did not expect her to get voted off whatsoever, and she didn't. But it was just something to think about. Yeah. Yeah. So I was expecting a few scenarios for this tribal. Either it was going to tie because Carson would stick with Helen and Sarah, but Sarah didn't vote because she couldn't vote and she didn't tell them. And then maybe Carson would flip from there. Or same thing, it would tie, but Carolyn plays the idol on herself, and then since they're targeting Helen, then she would be idled out. But no, that didn't happen. Carson just kind of voted Helen out with Yam Yam and Carolyn, which I think part of the reason for that was Helen was caught being too smart, which is what Carson was trying to hide the whole time. So that's why I mentioned that earlier. But yeah, I don't fully understand why Carson stuck with Carolyn and Yam Yam. It's possible he's underestimating them. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's something. Because Carson that basically means Carson's made his choice. If they go to tribal again, Sarah's probably out. Yeah, it's rough. Helen was someone I was rooting for this season, and it sucks to see Maddie and then Helen go out back to back. Lucy, what do you think about the whole situation with Helen going?
Devastated.
Devastating?
Devastated once again. Devastated.
I agree.
why has first Maddie, now Helen, and arguably also Bruce, though Bruce wasn't voted out.
Yeah.
Why have such cool players been going instantly? I mean, it's a
Yeah.
really good cast, but like,
They're all cool in some way, but the
I
fact
think
that
I
we
forgot
lost
to
both
mention.
Maddie and Helen in a matter of 2 episodes.
Yeah.
Like,
And the first two at that.
first 2 episodes. Yeah. Helen
what
was like
sucks is,
a potential winner pick for me.
yeah,
Like, I was
literally last episode on this show, Reality Check, I literally was saying, I'm sure I was saying, Helen is the best positioned on the
Yep.
tribe. Helen is in the power position. Helen's in the driving seat, you know?
Yeah.
So
How quickly things can change.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. It's brutal. Like, don't get me wrong, I like most of the cast, but like, I really wanted to see so much more from Maddie and Helen, and they're both gone, and Bruce too. Like, Bruce had potential, and as Jeff said on the a Fire with Jeff Probst, that Bruce will come back if the stars align. Like, they're willing to have Bruce back. Like, I don't know where I was going with that, to be honest. But yeah, like, we could have, there are so many cool returning possibilities that I really want to see. And Helen was also just devastated. She was so sad in her last words thing. It was so sad to watch.
Yeah, like you could tell how gutted she was. Like she was really like emotional.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah. I mean, I don't know what else to say about it. It was yeah, it was something.
Yeah.
I
think that pretty much does it for this.
Yeah. Let's talk about our usual stuff then.
Who was on who had Helen on that
You
draft?
had Helen.
No,
Yep.
another one.
You stole Helen from me in that draft episode, and I guess that's in a way that's karma, but yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
It's not looking good for me over here. It's like the opposite of last season.
Yeah, and that is your cast assistant draft. So right now you're sitting at 33 points, which anything can happen. There, I still have 5 people left. You still have 3. As for the first impression,
it's looking good for you.
It's looking good for me. I'll say that. Like,
I'm starting to not feel great about Kane.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Claire sitting out, like,
yeah, Claire has sat out every challenge that she could. Like,
and Lauren has not been hiding her thing very well. I'm starting to think I should have picked like Carolyn for my yeah. I think Carolyn
with Claire. I mean I think that she might have some sort of strategy there with how much she's willing to sit out. But also, if they get to tribal, and I don't know. I think if it was like if they lost the first 2 challenges or something, and Carolyn was sitting out, not Carolyn, Claire was sitting out, then maybe she'd have a little heat. But maybe it's far enough in the game that they're not going to care as much that she is sitting out, and they're just going to focus on Matt and Franny. But we'll see. Speaking of what's going to happen, let's talk about our like. Who's in the best position and worst position on each tribe, like we did last week. So let's start with Orange Tribe again. Lucy, who do you think is in the best position on the Orange Tribe right now?
But I'm actually gonna say Matthew.
Okay.
I feel like his only downside was his physical ability, and he proved that in this challenge he's not not like useless, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, he proved his worth to the tribe. What would you say?
I would also say Matthew. I feel like even though he's working with Brandon, he is more just in the middle. Lauren has the extra vote, but I don't think that'll hurt Matthew. I don't think they have any. He's shown he's really valuable despite his shoulder or arm issue.
Yeah.
And he's helpful for challenges. And I think in general he's going to be really helpful for his tribe. Yeah. Who do you think is in the worst position on Orange Tribe?
I'm gonna say it, Kane. At this moment, because Brandon is going to push Kane. That is what will happen next tribal, I assume.
Interesting. Yeah.
Jamie will probably just blend in. Lauren will probably just blend in, and by blend in I mean just get away with whatever they're up to. Matthew again, that doesn't seem to be much reason to go for him unless he loses them a challenge or something.
Mm-hmm.
But then I think he can sit out of this next one due to
Yeah.
Tika having
Yeah.
4
Mm-hmm.
members. So it won't be his fault,
Mm-hmm.
probably. But yeah, so I reckon the vote would be between Brandon and Kane. But then there is a chance that they might be like, oh, we need physical strength on the tribe, so they might just try and go for like Kane because Kane is not as strong as like Brandon.
Kane's pretty tall though. Like like he doesn't
but
look like
he's
he'd be
not
strong, but
Brandon.
like he's not
Yeah,
Brandon. But like the
maybe they
challenge.
would take out Jamie.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's possible. But yeah, um, I have to agree with you though. I think Kane. We didn't get to see much of Orange Tribe this episode, but Kane's just like if Brandon gets power, Kane could be in trouble. But also, I don't expect Brandon to get that much power. So I still think Kane will be able to float by, just like in season 43, we saw someone be targeted a lot, and they went out pretty easily. So
Yeah.
if you remember Gabler and Ellie, but yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Moving on to Soka.
yeah, let's move on to Soka. I'll go first for this one. Um,
Okay.
best position for Soka, I'd say Danny. He got the idol, and it doesn't seem like they even care that he was out doing his own thing. Um,
Yeah.
I have no idea what the dynamics are there. I
Yeah,
think
we
I have
haven't
an
seen a
idea of
lot.
who's gonna be first voted out there if they go to tribal.
Do you think it might be Matt or Franny?
Yeah, and we'll discuss that in the worst position. But who do you think is
Yeah.
in the best position on Green Tribe, Lucy?
Yeah, I would probably also say Danny.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Yeah.
because, yeah, he does seem to lack a little bit of group dynamic. Like they were all kind of hanging back and being like, "Yeah, we're lazy. Danny can burn himself out."
Yeah.
But then I don't think that's a strong enough. Like I don't think that's him on the outs. If that makes sense.
No, yeah, no, that's not anything against Danny. That's just them. They're just not suspecting him of anything, which is great for him. As for worst position, I'm gonna say Matt. Um, he can't vote for 2 tribal councils. He can't. I also think he likes Franny more than Franny likes him. I imagine it's pretty mutual, but from the way Franny's talked about it, I wouldn't be surprised if she was willing to vote him out just to better her position in the game. She's absolutely not like using him or anything. I'm sure of that. But like if it comes down to it, I wouldn't be too surprised if she would be willing to flip on Matt more than Matt would be willing to flip on her.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see. What do you think? Who's in the worst position on Soka?
Yeah, I would probably say Franny or Matt. I would agree.
Mm-hmm.
I think probably maybe Matt slightly less, like more at risk than Franny because
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the girls are kind of coming together a little.
Sure. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah. Yeah.
Like they talk to her a bit more openly about you
Mm-hmm.
shouldn't spend so much time with Matt, so it's clear they do actually care about her. While the guys
Yeah,
kind of just left
exactly.
Matt to it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
So yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, moving on to Tika. We just saw another disappointing vote out in Helen going, and I think for best position on Tika Tribe, I'm gonna have to. Oh wait, no. Actually, you can go first since I went first on the last one. Who do you think is in the best position on purple, Lucy?
Hmm. Probably Carson. Well, he did just burn Sarah. I should know Carolyn, maybe?
Hmm.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna say Carolyn.
Okay.
Yeah.
And your reasoning?
She's got an idol.
Okay. I'm
They
gonna.
all
Oh,
underestimate her
alright.
as well.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
All good. All good. I'm gonna say Yam Yam. Um, you could definitely say Carolyn with the fact that she has an idol. You could easily say Carson with the fact that he was playing both sides. But I could easily see Carolyn getting blindsided, even though she was great in understanding what was going on in this episode. I could easily see them getting it past her if they really wanted to. Um, Carson is generally in an okay spot, but um, I wouldn't be surprised with Carolyn. Yeah, Carson helped her out last round, but like, I bet Sarah could have convinced them that Carson's really smart and that Carson's really social, and that he's gonna get along with everyone. And I feel like Carson could be seen as a threat on Tika and could easily be flipped on compared to Sarah. So he's pretty safe, but I don't think he's in the best position for that. So I just don't see them voting out Yam Yam. He is their best physical player, and he also gets along with everyone, but not to the extent that Carson does. So yeah. Lucy, who do you think is in the worst position on the Purple Tribe?
Probably Sarah.
Yep.
I think if they did go to tribal, they'd just vote her out again.
Yeah.
I mean, like, yeah. Same alliances. Yeah.
I have to agree. Carson has no reason to go back to Sarah. I think Sarah's best chance is getting it turned on Carson. But I don't know how likely that is. And if they were to go to tribal immediately after voting out Helen, Sarah would definitely go. Obviously, if there's time, Sarah has time to make something work. But we know she won't be able to find an idol. And, well, at least as of now. And we know that she's an easy vote. So, yeah. I think that's all we got for this episode. Did you have anything else you wanted to add about the episode?
No, I don't think so.
All right. Well, then, thank you for listening to Reality Check, the podcast for all things reality. Come back for new episodes every Friday. Thanks for listening. See you next time.